other day you asked some question and it got...
Actually what happened, because Marius is my friend.
Okay.
So he left yesterday.
Yesterday.
So I went to his last sentence.
Okay.
Now that he left, I come here.
Okay.
Because I like there, I relax.
Okay. What question you asked on the other day?
The question, I think it is like, according what I understand what you said, it is the natural flow of thoughts and feelings. And if we interfere, if we try to do something with that, we create problem. If we don't interfere, life goes on. But is enlightenment, or is just a technique? Then they said, sitting silently, doing nothing, as the spring comes and the grass grows by itself. Please not interfere. Just sit, like don't do anything. This is enlightenment or just a technique? This was my question. Yeah.
So, if you understand, the understanding is enlightenment. So, if you apply as a technique, then it is not understanding. So, whether we are applying as a practice or not is the matter. So, if you understand, then matter is over. Because if you understand, you have no business there.
Yeah.
And then this is understanding. So, if you deliberately do something as non-doing, doing a thing as a practice, it is not doing the practice of not doing anything. It is just understanding, we have no business. For example, we are sitting here and somebody ring the calling bell, and we have the duty to ask what do you want. You can open the door and ask. But if the calling bell rings in the next house, the neighbor house, what is our duty? No duty.
Yeah.
So if you understand there is no duty for ourselves, it is not a practice.
Yeah.
So we understand we have no duty to answer the calling bell of the next house.
Yeah.
That is the understanding. And liberation is different. Liberation is not enlightenment. Liberation is the result of enlightenment. Liberation is the result of understanding. So when we understand we have no business, the liberation means the happening and disappearance of the feeling and emotions. So it is in the free flow. So previously we have some disturbed flow. And now we understand that we have no duty, some undisturbed flow of our feeling is happening. So the undisturbed flow of our psychological consciousness is liberated consciousness. So the liberated consciousness is known as the liberation.
This is
Known as liberation. Liberation or mukti, moksha, what are many?
Is the undisturbed consciousness.
Undisturbed consciousness, undisturbed flow.
Yeah,
So the natural flow of consciousness, this is undisturbed flow. The undisturbed flow of consciousness is liberated consciousness, or we can say it as liberation. So that is not intellectual. That is a happening. But understanding is intellectual.
Yeah.
But liberation is not intellectual. But liberation is the highest state, comparing with the enlightenment. Enlightenment is only some verbal understanding and intellectual understanding. Thereby we can know what we have to do, what we not to do. So if you understand we have no business there, the consciousness flows in a natural way.
We see the photo of us. I see the photo from Axion when I go to the sun. When I see this body of Ramana, I see inside nothingness. This is my experience. So the point in many people, because now many people give satsangs. So everybody can say I'm enlightened, I'm liberated, but when in some people there is a special aura around a very beautiful vibration. Also they say that this happened because he had death experience. Also he even described his enlightenment. When I was going to Osho for 17 years. So he even described his enlightenment. Another guru, called him Sadhguru, he's famous in India, he said that he really had an experience that he was crying. This experience transformed him. Or Nisargadatta Maharaj, he said, I was thinking that I was enlightened, but after in one moment, I really had that experience. So maybe there is. Do you believe there is an experience that can transform your body and radiating bliss, or it is and it's necessary to happen, or I don't know, it's necessary to have some experience to become like Ramana Maharshi, or you can die and you are liberated, but you don't radiating anything. You don't. Still, people think that you have problems. I have this confusion there, because when you see the photo of Ramana, when I see, it is something different when I see a photo of some angry person, of some violent person, because like Ramana, he's from Tamil Nadu. Other people are from Tamil Nadu, but other people in Tamil Nadu all day shouting, all day fighting, all day this. But Ramana, all day calm and without trying. So, does this need an experience to happen that, or it is?
So, wherever we are, we have some experience. Each and every moment, our psychological structure, our consciousness is producing and having some experience, some good thing or bad thing or whatever it may be. If you do some meditation, and if you do some meditation, thereby you can have some tuning in the conscious level, and thereby you can come different type of expression in the conscious level. It varies according to person. And so at the same time, when we are with our good friends or in your family, you have some different kind of vibration. So if you are placed in an adverse position, some unwanted persons are around you, and you will have a different kind of vibration and experience in your consciousness. But actually, all experience has some relationship with our tuning of mind and the circumstances. The coincidence and some reaction with the background and the circumstances, thereby we create some kind of quality of experiences. But all experiences are related to some circumstances. The circumstances may be external or internal. The inward circumstances may be the reason, or the external circumstances may be the reason. But some circumstances must be there to have some experience. Even though we may have some bliss consciousness, even bliss consciousness is also a kind of experience. Yeah. But whatever may be the experience, the natural is that it has to come and go. So if any experience takes more time for its disappearance, it will even destroy the nervous system of the body. Even bliss consciousness itself, if it exists for more than a certain period, it will destroy the health of the body. So whatever may be it may be the good experience or bad experience, it has to come and go. Yeah. For example, if you are tasting many food, some foods are very taste, some food has very very bitter taste. Yeah. We cannot sustain the taste within ourselves, and it may be it is not easy to have more and more. So, for example, if you take a sweet food, and when you taste a sweet food, your tongue becomes sweet. Yeah. When you take a bitter food, your tongue becomes bitter. Yeah. So when you take a sweet food and your tongue becomes sweet, and the tongue keeps the sweetness always, what will happen? So that means if the sweetness is retained by the tongue always, that means the tongue undergone a repaired condition. It is not okay. So whatever must be in order, it has to come and it has to go. Then only it is in the healthy state. So in the same way, if our mind, the mind also must function in the same way. It has to represent, it has to create all the experiences. The next moment it must be free from all experiences. So that is the flowing nature, and that is the liberated condition of the consciousness. So we may think if you have some bliss consciousness, You may think that I am noble or somebody is noble, and for the time being it is all right. But the next moment, if it goes away from us, then only the mind is perfect. Otherwise, some imperfection happens.